listening to Oh My Omaha, the podcast, where we uncover inspiring things about our community through the stories of inspiring people who call it home. I am Dee Harrell, and this is the creator of Oh My Omaha, the blog, and the blogosphere's friendliest face herself, Kim Reiner.
Hi there.
Hello, Kim.
Hey, Dee.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I've been listening to a lot of our old podcasts, and first, again, kind of trying to remember or make note of things that I keep repeating.
Right. 100%.
100%. Yes. That's trying very hard not to say that. But I'm noticing that there's a common thread of like our guests having many, many things going on, right? The multitasking. I think every single person we've had on is just kind of in this and that.
Involved in a lot, yeah.
A lot. And with ease. Pretty much.
Or they make it look easy.
They do make it look easy. It sounded really easy in the interview, right? But then, it made me think about all the things that everybody's doing on a daily basis. And really grateful to have somebody, a partner to support, in those endeavors.
Right. Same.
Yeah.
I don't know how... I'm impressed with single parents who are able to stay afloat and do all that they need to do with kids especially, and career and social life and family.
Totally. So, yeah, first shout out to those that do it on their own, because it's, much more apparent now, finally having somebody, from my perspective, to lean on and have that kind of support. It's it's immeasurable.
Right. Yeah. Like just coordinating with Kevin during the school year. We got sports practices and we have activities and doctor's appointments, and just trying to coordinate who can be at what. And we only have 2 kids. I can't imagine having more kids and trying to be at all places at once. And so it does takes a lot of help.
Yeah. It's, and my kids are grown, but the appreciation of having somebody who, helps with a routine and helps with the management and organization of a task, one singular task, let alone multiple tasks in a day, in a week, in a month, right?
Right. Because Kevin will help, Kevin loves to cook, and I'm so glad he loves to cook.
So does Eli.
But I think of different things that need to be done that Kevin, and he thinks of different things that I overlook, and he'll take care of cleaning out the dishwasher that apparently needs to be cleaned more than once, or the oven.
Yeah.
And
those little, it's those things. It's I do very much appreciate the brain, his brain.
Things.
Yes, absolutely. I'm very aware of the, where I lack, and I appreciate the fill-in from his brain. In that sense.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, truth be told, we were trying to come up with a great way to segue this, but I mean, there's really great white elephants, big elephants in the room right now, just kind of perched on the couch beside you.
Yes.
In usual fashion, we'll introduce our guests today.
So our guests are the partners that are on this roller coaster with us, and we've got Kevin, my husband.
Hello.
And then we have Eli.
Hello.
Hi. So far away.
So let's introduce our guys here.
Okay.
I can go first.
Yes.
So Kevin,
you go first.
So Kevin Reiner, they wrote their bios, so
they did,
so we can read them. And I added some to Kevin's. So Kevin Reiner is an Omaha native, born and raised, and is a freelance video producer and editor. He's a father of 2 funny and creative kids, Henry and Charlotte. They're 14 and 12. And have the best parts of both of us, and unfortunately they've inherited or been given some of the worst parts, but it makes life fun for us.
Awesome.
For our little minis.
They are really your little minis. They came out looking...
We've cloned ourselves.
100%, I almost said it. Your kids literally look like little clones of you.
Right.
And act like that too, somewhat.
Yep, they have some of the same battles. We battle each other. The same quirks.
Pretty awesome.
It's fun.
Okay, so I don't usually do the bios, so I will do my best to read very well. Okay, let me introduce Eli Crittenden. He's a Kansas native. Omaha transplant since 2009, is the people operations manager at Kiewit Luminarium, father to an amazingly, yes, smart and talented 8-year-old daughter, Aurora, and my life partner. Blush. He wrote blush. Picture me blushing. Those of you just listening. I'm totally blushing right now. Welcome.
Thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks for asking. Yeah, glad to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you two were probably our first guests that we actually booked when we were scheduling everything, because we were thinking, who would we have on for Father's Day? Like, yeah, let's bring them on.
I think we booked you before telling you that you're coming on.
What do you mean by booked? Because I still don't have a calendar invite.
No, you
for
don't.
this.
And that's why I appreciate you, because you're the one who sends out the calendar invites. I very much forget. Well, we had like a running schedule between us.
Okay.
Yes.
We just didn't share it.
I knew.
Happy to be here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
We're very happy to have you.
You guys are two awesome fathers. And
Thank you.
you guys would be perfect.
Yeah, it is perfect. And, easy for us to book a guest. I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about how we met.
Right.
Or let's talk about how we met
all
and
met.
how we met.
Well, chronologically, you want to do like
Sure, you knew D first.
I knew D
Yes.
through work.
Yep, we worked together for many years.
Right, that's how I met D.
2001,
Right.
and that's how
Yeah.
I met Kim then. About 4 years later. So
Right.
Yeah.
we met online. We were one of the first online people, and we ended up being
Omaha singles. Like, yeah, he was one of the first dates.
That's
Omaha
right.
Singles. Yeah, I think it's dead now. Maybe not. Sorry, Omaha Singles, if you're dead. But we met online, and then we were speaking on the phone, and we both heard the same siren outside.
It was a car alarm.
Car alarm or something.
Yep.
And I was like, where the heck do you live? And we lived across the street from each other, basically downtown. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I always felt like serendipitously we would meet if we didn't meet through Omaha Singles. Like, there were several weird things in the first year that we were dating where our paths would have crossed anyway.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
But her cat tried to keep us apart.
right.
Yes.
You know that cat story?
Yeah, I do know that cat story.
We can share it. Our first date. So I lived in an apartment where the buzzer to buzz people in was a telephone, and I had a
That ages
bipolar.
us.
Right, I had a bipolar cat who was kind of crazy, and she knocked the phone off the hook. So I never knew Kevin was there to pick me up for the date. He was buzzing, and it was just. And I think you tried calling.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like I was on the phone.
So I thought she was
was a busy
standing me
signal.
up, and Kim thought I was standing her up.
Right. My mom panicked because she was expecting to hear from me
thought I killed
about the
you.
date. She thought I was dead. So she sent my sister-in-law, Robin, to come down and check on me.
Oh my gosh.
And that's when I found out my phone was off the hook for a couple of hours.
Yep.
And
This is like an emergency situation.
right,
So
they was like,
that
"You're
old
alive."
story.
That old story.
Yeah.
The rest
And then
is
it
history?
happened. Yeah, the cat stuck around.
Yeah.
Raina.
Raina.
Oh,
cat.
you say that with such
Yes, she was his nemesis.
happiness. Yes.
So
Yeah.
anyway, that's how we met.
Cool. Serendipity. I love it. I think we're pretty serendipitous.
And my cat likes you.
And your cat loves me. And I'm not allergic to this cat, which is very, like,
Nice.
I'm like the canary. I walk into a house that we're shooting in for like a photo shoot, and that has a cat, and then my eyes swell up immediately and water. But this one,
It's meant to be.
yeah. Yeah. Cat.
What kind of cat? Just
Humane Society type.
Yes. So we're not sure. Yes.
That is my cat too.
Yeah.
Part feral, I think, still feral.
But I think that, well, I guess we could talk about how we met. But the serendipitous part, there are moments in talking to Eli after we met that there's a lot of places, like a lot of events that we were both at, that there was at any given moment we probably more likely danced into each other rather than bumped into each other. But yeah, but I think we met at a perfect time.
Yeah, it was the right time.
Yeah.
If it would have happened before, it wouldn't have happened before.
You're right. Do you want to talk about how we met?
You tell it better, but it was in Heartland of America Park, and I was giving you directions
Yes, you were.
serendipitously. Yeah. Well, it was the day that Heartland of America Park opened, and a coworker and I, who was a former coworker of yours, was walking through the park to check it out for the first time, and she bumped into the crew, and I was just kind of kicking dirt while she was talking to former colleagues, and you walked up and said, "Hey, does anyone know where the volleyball courts are?" And I nonchalantly pointed that direction. And the rest is history.
Literally. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but
That's awesome.
He pointed and I went,
You liked the point?
yeah, I did. And then the person I was with who was looking for the volleyball courts was like, what are you doing? What is that? What is with the head tilt? And I was like, what?
And then the stranger that I was standing next to, that my colleague, our mutual colleague, was talking to, said, "Hey, Mom."
Yeah.
And I was like, what the?
So I noticed Eli, but I didn't notice my daughter standing right next to him. So that says something. Yeah. And
then I messaged her on LinkedIn.
yes, LinkedIn. Let's just make note of the link. I was like,
LinkedIn is great.
yes.
Well, it's what actually comes up when you Google. Sometimes it's hard to find,
Right.
other things.
Right.
But LinkedIn, you come up. So that's what I messaged on. And, a smooth 5 days later, she saw that message.
Okay. To be fair, our mutual friend was like kind of playing back like in between for us for just a little bit.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of banter. And she had mentioned something to the effect of, he said, I'm not going to ask for her number because she'll ask for mine. Or that's what she wrote. I'm not saying that that's what Eli said, but that's what she wrote. And I was like, oh, competition. Fine. I'm not going to ask for his number, right? That's kind of what. So then that was on Friday. And I'm like, did he really not ask for my number? Like, we hit it off because we talked, what else? And I was bummed. Then Monday I was like, fine. I was like, Katie, nothing? She's like, no, whatever. And then I was like, oh, LinkedIn came on. It's like, you have a notification. I go, what? From when? It was on Friday. Yeah. And then I gave him a hard time for messaging me on LinkedIn. I was like, who checks LinkedIn? But yeah, so then that's...
I had already given you my number. You just didn't know it. So that's why I said...
And I was bummed because I was like, we could have been hanging out all weekend. I was waiting for 5 days for your number, but what else? It worked out perfect.
But again, that might not have been the right time. I could have had plans.
You're right. So. You're right. Correct. Mm-hmm. It was perfect.
It all worked out.
All right. And then we all met. Again, so Kim and I met because of Kevin. Mm-hmm. And Kim and I hit it off pretty much from and then we ran our first marathons together. And
that was an experience.
That's it.
Because I wasn't a runner, but
and
we bonded over that.
It was great. Okay.
So we're here today because of Father's Day. We thought we should bring some fathers on, get their perspective of Omaha, and you guys were top of mind, obviously. So, you guys have any Father's Day plans?
Ooh, yeah, I'm excited about Father's Day. I always get excited about Father's Day, not because it's about me, but it's I can ask my daughter to spend time with me, and she's eager to do so. Mm-hmm. So that's why I like it. Traditionally, we will float the Platte River, and so we do that. I have a little 2-person inflatable kayak, and so we swim around, and it always takes us way longer than it should. And there's sunburns involved. It's how her and I both get our base sunburn for the year. But no, it's a good time. So yeah, we're doing that. This year I'm lucky enough to have kind of filled in the rest of the weekend. So we're going to do that, I think, on Sunday. Friday night, we're going to go to Papillion Days, to the carnival and fireworks there. And then Saturday, we are going to the Alamo Draft House to a special family showing in the morning of Inside Out 2.
Ooh.
So she's super excited about that.
I love Inside Out.
Yep, yeah. I'm looking forward to that second movie. Mm-hmm. Charlotte's looking forward to it. Yeah. We don't really have our Father's Day plans totally set.
We rarely do, but I like it. Very similar. I like just a low-key Father's Day. I like just spending time with the kids and usually going to one of the things that we have membership to, so the zoo or a museum or something. Probably the zoo. Mm-hmm. I grew up going to the zoo with my family, so it's kind of a tradition, and the kids love it, and it'll wear them out, and it's just a good day with the kids, and then come home, cook something, and maybe watch a movie, or we're a movie fan. We love watching movies together, and
same.
So.
Right. our oldest is now starting to want to watch like the classics. Like he wants to know what are the good films. He's I don't want to say extremist, but he wants to know what's the best film and best drama ever. Ooh. He wants to watch it, or best comedy. Or
Kevin's son.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. In a list.
Yes.
Yeah. He'll always say, Dad, what is the funniest movie in the world? I'm like, well, it's subjective, buddy.
Yeah.
But let me tell you. Here's my top 10.
I've got my list. Finally.
Big Lebowski, then whatever.
Ooh, yeah.
No, but yeah, we'll do something fun.
movies, yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And so summer as a dad, what are your guys' go-to places when if you're planning like the family outing or just one-on-one? Where do you guys?
I like to be outside a lot as much as possible, so long as we're not going to burn. But I like to live out in Papillion, so a lot of the stuff that we do is out in Sarpy County, but a lot of the community days, like I said, Papillion days, but then also La Vista Days has great live music. I like to go to the fireworks in Ralston. And then, whether it be the swimming pool or a free movie outdoors in Sumter Amphitheater. We also like to go to Falconwood. They have a drive-in during the summer, drive-in movies. But they'll also have live music there. And live music's something that we have in common, for sure. She likes to sing and dance. I like to dance. So there's that. We don't always agree on the music, but we appreciate each other's music. We like to go out to Louisville State Park to go swimming. Do that quite a bit.
Do you do the inflatable obstacle course yet?
I haven't done that yet there. She's not been old enough. Last year she started inquiring about it. I think, though, now that I say that, I think she did go to a birthday party there last year. I did not go, but I think she has done it once, yeah.
Oh, cool. It's an intense workout.
I want to do it.
It wears them out.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's fun.
Like, is it mostly children or?
No, I don't think so.
I don't want to be like that.
Like I went out with the kids.
Get out of the way.
Bounce them off into the water.
Get all competitive.
Yeah. Summers, a typical day is probably going to the pool, doing some yard work. You have to balance especially both of us being freelance, it's hard to balance spend time with the kids and get our work done. They go to camp a lot of great camps, UNO's camps. Was that Reach for the Stars?
Aim for the Stars.
Aim for the Stars at UNO.
Scientific based.
Yeah, if your kids like
creative
science and creative art, Connecticut has great. They love all their stuff, all their art camps, and then I went to Hummel as a kid, and so my kids, they've both gone through there. And then what's the other camp out?
Kitaki.
They love that. That's a true camp.
That's like a week-long camp. Like I can't imagine ever doing that as a kid. And both kids love being gone for a week.
Yeah.
Staying in a cabin. Yeah.
We had to talk about that. I love
Kitaki's
sleepover
great.
camps.
Oh, I would have been terrible. Like homesick.
I think you get homesick. I think it's good for them too, though.
Yeah.
I think that first day is probably tough, and then they get used to it. And then they did Camp Foster up in Okoboji for a week, and that's a real awesome camp. Like, you can canoe and stuff like that. But to do with them, we go to the pool a lot, and then trips that the family go on. I like those, and those are often, I'm sure, told to me often what we're doing, but often a surprise to me. Like, oh, we're going to this small town in Kansas this week. And I'll go, sweet, and it's always something new.
Yeah.
So I enjoy seeing the kids learn things that I probably wouldn't have taken them on, or kind of forced environments that are, you learn a lot.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's neat.
Dig. I like that you pointed out don't always agree on music. Kevin and I have that in common. Don't agree on music. Music lovers, but don't agree on genres.
The Venn diagram crosses over on certain things.
Correct.
Like
Correct.
Tool and...
Aqua?
No. But that's a pretty small circle in the Venn.
Right.
And
Are you an Aqua fan? Who isn't? Right.
Right.
You have to say.
And it's not that we don't agree, I guess. I like everything that she likes. She doesn't always like everything that I like.
Right. Yet.
Yeah.
Yet. Yes.
And it becomes a bigger struggle with the kids like Henry, I don't know. I sometimes don't understand what, like, he listens to retro video game soundtracks. But there's a variety of that. There's like really beautiful orchestral stuff, and then there's like 8-bit sound and stuff where I'm like, how is this?
Yeah,
and that's what he studies too.
Yeah, and it's, and you know, to each their own, but it's not what I was expecting.
Yeah,
because like my parents were like, turn that down, and it's, you know, rock. So I thought it'd be an extension of that, like it'd be even heavier or weirder, and it's kind of like gone to a different. So it's kind of cool to try and. You know, you got to be open to what they listen to and accept it, that's what they like.
Yeah, they like some of the stuff that we've played for them.
Oh, yeah.
And that's cool. And then, so Charlotte's grown into kind of a show tunes. Show tunes and not emotional girl rock, but girl power kind of stuff.
Examples.
She loves like Unstoppable by Sia, and she was in a Katy Perry phase for a while.
Yeah,
she's turned Brandy Carlisle.
Brandy Carlisle,
awesome. Like
that
together.
And then now she's gone into like she loves show tunes for shows she hasn't seen yet. So she's loving Hamilton and Hadestown.
Rent yet? Any Rent?
Oh, she hasn't heard Rent yet.
I think she's heard Rent.
Yeah,
go to my favorite.
So, very wide tastes.
Yeah.
And we're taking them to their first kind of true concert. We've taken them to free concerts in the park sort of things, Jazz on the Green. And we've done like Stinson Park concerts. But this summer we're doing Andrew Bird.
Nice.
They both are Andrew Bird fans. So
that's out at the Astro. Yeah.
So are there any musical genres or bands that you're like, oh no, like I want to make sure I share this with my kids because of whatever importance it is in the sense of to your history or to musical history or to influence?
Certainly when it's been a little while, she now knows, but certainly when she did not know who Bob Marley was, I felt like a failure as a parent. But it was a learning moment for me. She certainly knows it. It was really easy to say, hey, the Three Little Birds song I sing at night, that's Bob Marley. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she just went to the Three Little Bird or the Bob Marley show at the Rose. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think it was called Three Little Birds or something like that.
But she was really into like that, the music of that place.
She does love the Rose. She loves volunteering at the Rose too.
Yeah, that's great.
So
what does she do there? Like volunteer?
I think she does it a lot with her mom, but hand out flyers or kind of the programs as people go in and that type of thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but they did have a Bob Marley show there, so that's a cool way to introduce the kids to music.
Mine's tougher because I'm a huge Radiohead fan, and I don't want them to have to be fans of Radiohead, but just appreciate the craft that goes into it. And that I think what's lost a lot sometimes is that album work, like a whole album and stuff like that. That's kind of going away, unfortunately. I don't know. It's just changed.
Yeah.
And to say, hey, they worked on this thing for 4 years to perfect it, and that's all instruments, and so I'll get to them. Yeah. But I found you can't force things. No. If you say, listen to this, it's good, they're like, no, it's not.
Right.
So one of my proudest moments was Charlotte just saying, can we turn on that supermarket song? And it took a while that it was The Clash, Lost in the Supermarket.
Yeah. And
so that was I had a little tear. I was like, yes, we'll play The Clash.
Awesome. You know, last night, so I took my son, 22, to Bleachers at the Steelhouse, and he hadn't heard of them, but he wanted to hang out and he wanted to go to a show. And I came home and told Eli this. I was like, the power of live music is that you being introduced to a band in that kind of setting is magical, because you get the energy of the band, you get the energy of the people around you, and then all of a sudden you're just like, yes, like I love this band. And he wanted to listen. He downloaded all their stuff and wanted to listen to it. And I was like, that's the key. I think that's the way to. There is something magical about introducing young people to different genres of music or bands that they might not choose for themselves, in that kind of setting. Because I watched him dance. My son does not dance, and I was like,
he did win an award.
Oh yes, he did, and I've talked about that several times, and he loves that I've mentioned it on air, that he did win an MVP dance award when he was younger.
In hip-hop.
In hip-hop.
When he was a child.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, I remember you putting him in that class. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, yes, because it was like, do something cultural.
Right.
Right.
It sucks when they lose that, or they pride kicks in and they can't. They get nervous or embarrassed,
Right,
self-conscious about being just silly or dancing. So it's hard not to.
There was a girl in dance that he liked, and then he felt that's what got him self-conscious. It wasn't so much the dancing.
Right.
I'm sure he's going to love that I put that in there too. But watching him dance to the music last night and then like kind of jabbing me as he was dancing was like a really, really cool moment. I did not expect. I was like, yes, because I'm like, I'm going to dance.
Yep.
And he's like, yes. I know you're going to dance. But he started dancing. He was like, yeah, I'm having a great time. Like, he had a blast. And I think, like,
that's awesome.
Not forcing it, but, like, making that. I just wish that more live music was a lot more affordable. Anyways, it's a whole nother. We'll get on that later.
Well, no, I agree. I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize that there is awesome, affordable music.
Yeah.
When you complain about the big show coming through, and nothing against those big shows at CHI, that's awesome. But there's also tons of local bands and local and touring small bands where you pay $10, $20.
Right.
Back when we were going $5. But,
but they just had the sale. Like we were just talking about, some of the shows had like the $25 sale for a ticket.
Live Nation had their concert week.
Right.
Which I love that they do that. Right. So it's just a thing of like searching for it.
Right.
Okay. So let's bring it back.
Yeah.
So, talking about sharing things with our kids. Is there anything like from that your fathers or parents kind of influenced how you are now a father or parent?
Yes, good and bad, right? You learn what to do and what not to do. Yeah. And then you learn that it's easier said than done, right? And so maybe some of the things that you wish that you weren't doing, dang it, whether it be being grumpier than you wanted to be, right, in an instance or something like that. But I notice a lot of the things that I like to do with my daughter are the things that my dad liked to do with me. We went on float trips as well. We worked together, building houses, but working outside and just getting things done with our hands. And I try to get Aurora to do that as much as possible, and she does like to do it as well. But whether or not it's kind of conscience, you recognize it, like, oh yeah, okay, right, I know where I got that from, good and bad.
Yeah, love that.
Kevin?
Yeah, I would say I got a lot from my father as far as how to be a good person. A lot of or try to be a good person, but it was very much in the 80s, 70s, 80s structure where he was the father, went off to work, mom raised us, but then there was a time where mom had to work as well at night, so it was me and my two sisters and an older brother who was kind of out of the house already. He's 10 years older, so I learned a lot of both sides of parenting, if you want to say their sides, but the traditional, how to cook, how to take care of myself, how to take care of each other, and
laundry. You're much better.
Laundry. I'm
better at folding.
But what I've learned is that it's dumb to have roles. It's pretty much fill in. You're just struggling to get it all done, and whatever you're best at, you do. And if the partner is better at it, then they do it, and you kind of, and boy, you notice that when you leave town or something, and you're like, oh man, I didn't realize how much she does, and vice versa, so, but back, my father was great at, without knowing, I think he really taught me about equality and how everyone. I just remember a long time ago, a guy throwing out a racial epithet and my dad going off on him, which was very cool and highly influential to me. So it was the little things. He wasn't around as much as mom. Mom was always around. He came, but he was a very good role model to me. So.
Yeah. I was thinking about my parents and my dad, and I I got, I think, my love of travel and planning like these massive road trips. A lot of it's from my parents, and my dad we've driven all the way up to Canada. We've driven all the way down to Mexico as kids. And I think the stops along the way are all these random stops, or they seemed random to me as a kid. And I'm doing that now.
Yeah.
And I still love it. And
who knows what that influence?
right.
That's probably part of it.
And I think, oh gosh, what else?
I was
Outdoorsiness from your dad.
I love your dad. I'm very happy to have two great two grandfathers for my kids.
That's cool.
It's cool. They both, for the longest time, would pick the kids up from school. They had like their pickup days.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like with COVID hitting, then the dads couldn't pick up. And your dad, once he wasn't able to stopped driving, once he stopped driving, then it was noticeable, because I think even the school, like the teachers knew, like, it's Grandpa Day and Grampy Day. And, and it's cute. Our dads get along very well. So for the longest time, they would go to the horse track together.
It's cute.
My dad would.
Ron and Don.
Ron and Don.
Amazing. Serendipity right there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Poem.
How about you?
My dad, he's awesome. He's quiet, natured, but like, I'm not very quiet, by the way, but there are things that I get from my dad in that he is a man of many talents, and he doesn't wear them outward. And some of the best things about him are like the passion that he has, and he commits time to do those things every day without talking about it and making it a thing, and it just is his thing. And you don't question kind of the way he does it. Massive hard worker. He worked for the same company for 50 years. When he left, the company asked him to write a manual in his terms on how to work a machine, because he's the only person who knew how to do it. And he did it without, like, they wanted to pay him for it. And he was like, no, it's like my honor, right?
Oh, wow. That's cool.
But he's a master woodworker. Our garage was a wood shop my entire life, and he's an agriculture engineer, and we had massive gardens and beautiful, like, things that I just didn't appreciate enough when I was younger. But he big traveler. He immigrated from the Philippines when he was 19, after having already received his master's, like, that young. And
Wow.
He believes in leading by example, more so than saying it. My entire life, he never really, said everything, but he's just a man of action. And I really dig that. And one of the things that he did say to me that has, like, really, really solidified a lot of things and how I operate in my life. I'm trying not to get emotional. I'm not a 50-year employee, right? And I stay committed to the places I've worked for. Like, I'm still work with some of them on a freelance basis, but I'm very much okay, cool, I did that, and I'm going to move on to something else. And there was a moment when I asked him, like, I was like, what? Like, he stayed 50 years. My mom stayed. She was like the head nurse at the hospital for 40 years. My brother stayed at the same place, my sister, and I'm the only one, right? Like, the artist going all over the place. And he said, there's this one story. And again, this man does not talk a lot. And he was like, I can tell you the story about you when you were little. We're at a party. My aunt, who's really controlling, counted the exact number of burgers for all the people. And I was like 3. And she had an itinerary for this birthday party for my 5-year-old cousin. And my dad's like, oh my God, she just kept all the activities, went into like lunch, and everybody's starving and miserable. But she's like very adamant, like, we have to follow the plan. And then he's like, we looked around and you were gone. And so, like, then everyone's freaking out because they have no idea where I am. And he's like, you had grabbed the plate of burgers, went underneath the table. It's like no one can see me because of the tablecloth. And I was just under there eating the burgers because I was hungry. And he was like, yeah, she's fine. I don't have to question what she's going to do. She's going to be fine for the rest of her life. And I literally am like, cool. All right. Yeah. So massive influence. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. When kids do awesome things like that, it reassures you, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter how much you think, you might be failing at this, that, or the other, stress from job or finances or whatever it may be. If you can always go, the kids are all right.
Yeah.
If the kids are all right, I'm good.
Good, yes. Yep. And sense of humor, right? My biggest coping mechanism is my sense of humor. I will make a joke out of whatevs, and it's totally my dad. And he had that kind of belly, that silent belly laugh that you could hear like the difference in his breath, but then you look over and he's like just shaking, like laughing. I appreciated that. That trait, I guess. Okay, so let's bring it back to Omaha.
Omaha.
What are some of the local places that you guys like to take your kids as like to do activities or to eat or to do things? Specifically, favorites.
I do like going out to eat with the kids.
Do you?
Usually. Well, I do. We play little games and things like that when they were
younger.
Yeah, when they didn't before they found their devices and gadgets, and they still spoke to us all the time. But we would play like that heads up game, stuff like that. We like to go to the Blatt. That's a place where everybody has something they can eat, and things like that. We like just kind of that low key bar and grill type thing where everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Really like seeing movies with them, outdoor stuff, concerts in the park. I love going to a good museum that teaches them something new. It's almost like reverse travel.
Yeah.
Things come to you, or things from different times or minds or cultures. So, yeah.
I think it's funny. Aurora would say Dad's favorite place is the wood store, meaning Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that, right? But anywhere outdoors, and maybe I'm just eager and anticipating, now that the weather's nice and that type of stuff. But again, going swimming at the lake and not just Louisville, but I'd like the Fremont lakes as well. And but yeah, anything outdoors or just to get in nature is going to be the primary go-to. I am happy that it now can go beyond just the playground, right? As she grows, and it used to just be, I want to go down the slide and all of that kind of stuff. And that's fun, but now I like showing her new things, right? So anywhere that is new, that you haven't been to yet. So when Jean Leahy opened up, she loved that with the playground there. And with Q Illuminarium opening, she loves going there. She never has a problem going to work with Dad, that's for sure. But then also the Heartland of America Park, and she went to work with me a little bit last night. And afterwards, we went to the volleyball courts that I gave directions to D to, because she's got volleyball camp coming up at Papillion La Vista South High School. And so she's super into that, especially following the Supernovas championship, which, was a touching moment to be standing next to my daughter and next to D when they won that. But yeah, she's super into that. So I get to play some volleyball with her. So anything that we can do outdoors that isn't just a slide.
Yeah.
And even slides are fun sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But water's better.
Water is so much better.
Yeah.
And as
Personally speaking.
what do you guys like to do without the kids? Like, where are places that are your favorites to go to, either on your own or date-wise or with friends? What are your favorite places in Omaha?
I think we've touched on the music thing. I love, I like smaller venues. So I like the Waiting Room, probably in town. I just love, that's where I relax and let go, is in sing a concert. You kind of, they always say to be mindful of your surroundings, and I never am, except at a concert. I kind of, or just lose my thought process and just let go and enjoy what's going on around me. So I like that, and I love, it seems like new places are popping up all the time. The Astro. I think I went and saw Wilco all by myself, because I've dragged you to
so many Wilco
too many Wilco shows, and she finally said no. But she said, enough, Kevin. It was one of the best Wilco shows I've seen, so unfortunately. But it was great at the Astro, things like that. So
I have a hard time going to live music by myself. Not that I can't enjoy it, but it's such a social activity to me that I want to share it with somebody. But yeah, live music, dancing. Dee and I like to go to Tin Ford a lot. They have some great dance music there. By myself, that's actually when I like to eat out the most. To go to some, lunch spot at Lena's, the taqueria. Just because there's usually no one there.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's a drive-through type of place, but so I get to sit there by myself and enjoy some delicious tacos and play my little video game on my phone. And it's good quality me time. And that's true of any, diner or, hole in the wall type of place. So yeah, I enjoy that quite a bit as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ever alone other than that.
Right.
Maybe a bookstore. I'll go to the Bookworm or coffee shop sometimes. Or actually, I know it as taking the dog out. So finding a dog park and letting him run, that's always relaxing, and getting to pet other dogs, cute ones. And
relaxing until he doesn't come back.
Until he does, just the cute ones. But like Chalco, I don't know if that's a great place for dogs. They can run free, kind of. Make sure you have
with the deer.
With the deer.
Yes.
I think Zarbin has a nice one. The one downtown.
Dog barn?
Well, yeah, there's Dog Bar, but I haven't seen that one yet. I haven't been in there. Yeah,
At
I've
Jinglihe
heard.
Mall, there's
Jinglihe Mall has one.
Dog bar's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's interesting to see the socialization of the dogs,
Yeah.
right? And
they have helpers there.
they do have helpers
So you
that
can work a
are they're
little.
amazing.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sure. Well, what a job.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Like they, come up and ask about the breed of the dog and how old.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like get down on their level and totally like interact with the dog, so that when they go and they might have to split up some butt sniffing situation gone awry, then they're like, oh,
Dogs
and
will
they
be
like
dogs.
well dressed. Yeah, it's amazing, and it's dog owners, so it's not like you're not really worried that your dog is bothering somebody, because
Right.
like they're not like everybody's there with a common goal,
Yeah.
right?
A really good one is Platte River State Park has a, and it's kind of hidden. You have to go up where they have camping,
The RV area.
where the RV area, but it has a agility course for dogs.
Oh.
That if your dog's into that, I don't know,
Awesome.
but it's a good place too.
That's cool.
But yeah, I like spending me and my best bud,
Yeah.
Stanley.
Do you have any advice for maybe newer fathers on, how to navigate the activities of their children, or
And as they age, the
Yes.
activities change. So we've had kids now that are teenagers.
Right.
Listen. I mean, not when they first are babies, obviously, but listen to where they want to go, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to the playground, but that's where she wanted to go, type of thing, right? Follow their lead a little bit, let them, wander, and show them, where they're wandering to, and how to get back, and that type of thing. But yeah, I mean, you'll learn more from being a father than you'll teach them, for sure. So they've got, children have a lot to teach us, a lot of wisdom in those young years that you maybe once knew, and it's good to be reminded of, how much fun a dandelion can be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, to kind of build off of that is that kids are a lot smarter than people give them credit for, or don't shove them into the role of the child who doesn't know anything.
Right.
You can have great conversations with them at any age, and that also just allows them to ask you anything. And so don't be careful of what you laugh at or make fun of. They're just being inquisitive, and you want to make you the person they turn to when they have those questions. And if it's the small questions early, it'll turn into the big questions later. So you have to build that trust with them. And then the other much less deep answer would be, I'm always kind of the technical, like, lay of the land. What's the best way to make this experience that we're having right now, whatever it might be, the best? And so a good example I have is we went to the Iowa Art the Des Moines Art Fair in the park there. What's that called?
The Arts Festival?
The Arts Festival in Des Moines.
Yeah.
I remember we went there, and I always figure out a way to drop the kids off, and then I'll go park and then walk through the event that we're doing, and then I can, first of all, enjoy that all by myself and maybe grab a beer. But then, beyond that, I find all the cool things without the kids, so I can kind of say, oh, let's not, over there's this thing, and over here's that thing. And then we walk back through, and then the car's right there, and we take off before we have to walk back to the car. So that's maybe the German in me. I have to have it all planned out perfectly for the day.
Right, like our trips have to be like, what's the parking situation for each place that we go to? And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Whereas I'm yes, I want to plan, but also I know that plan won't happen exactly the way that you plan it. So, resilience and what do you do when situation isn't quite what your expectations were or whatever, how do you still enjoy the moment, get the most out of it?
Oh
yeah.
Stuff happens.
We are stuff happens.
Say
people.
nicely.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have that brain.
Yeah.
I don't plan.
Oh, I love
that.
planning.
Yeah. I wish. I'm working on it.
Well, you do just at the last moment.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. At the spur of the moment, I plan.
As it's all happening, planning this out.
Yeah, I'm an impulsive planner.
Yes.
when I need to be.
planner.
Yes, that's who I am.
Trademark.
It's straight. Yeah. That's who I. That's what my bio should say.
That'll be your
Impulsive.
autobiography someday.
She's an impulsive planner. Yes. All right.
All right, so we end our episode with the same question for each guest.
Okay.
And there's no right answer for this. Where do you find inspiration in Omaha? Go. And go.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a good answer, one that I haven't said before, but what just popped in my mind is the moment that I cherish the most in Omaha is tucking my little girl in, singing her a song, turning out the light. That's the moment that, like, no matter what's happened in the day, no matter what I'm looking forward to the next day, that really inspires me to keep going. So don't come visit my daughter's bedroom. I'm not saying that. That's not a place that I would recommend unless you're me. But again, and sorry to keep on harping on this, but outdoors, like, Omaha's beautiful, and we're surrounded by, lots of lakes, rivers, there's forests, state parks, there's great parks all throughout the city and in all of the surrounding, the whole metro area. And so, yeah, I mean, nature revitalizes me, clears my head, gives me energy. So I just like to get outdoors.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And I totally agree on the nature thing. We love to go on hikes and stuff, but I'll bring it inside and say I love, and I kind of touched on this, but I love museums, and I really am excited for the Joslin to open up and show the kids that. And I like going there with the kids without that could be in a lone place. I like to, your brain just turns off and you just kind of wander around, and it's just so quiet and relaxing. And I like seeing the other people there who are also doing the same thing, and just enjoying looking at a piece of art made 100 years ago by someone long gone, or and then just the building itself. Speaking of Joslin or the Durham, or I just like walking around museums, and I walk out feeling refreshed, and being in a creative field, it's good to go to those types of places. And it also often will answer if I'm having like kind of a writer's block type of thing, that's often a place I'll go. It's just to kind of delve into some artwork and get inspired that way. So.
Awesome.
I thought a little bit more about it, because I liked your answer of it's really inspirational. I mean, nature is healing. It's good for me, and I enjoy putting my daughter to bed. But what's really inspiring me these days is the people of Omaha and all the entrepreneurs and small shops and, the art galleries, the studios, just to be able to see the vibrancy and the entrepreneurial spirit and what everyone is up to, that's inspirational to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people wanting to make Omaha or their part of Omaha better. Like they're opening. Yeah, Benson's a good example where more little galleries are opening up and giving more artists, local artists, an opportunity to express themselves and introduce people to. And
also, to go with that, also just the mingling of those areas, Benson, Northo, and I loved that. That's what I really like about down at Gene Leahy now is it feels like everyone from Omaha's there. It's not, there's too much Westo versus Northo, Southo, but I'm seeing that hopefully being torn away, and it's just Omaha, and so that's also inspirational. Just Omaha's busy and changing and becoming a modern city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Yes.
I haven't answered that question yet. I probably won't for a while. It would be a whole episode in itself. I don't know if I could even answer it. And I ask everybody at the end of each episode, but appreciate your answers. It's awesome.
And thank you for coming on, you guys.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we didn't touch on that you guys would like to say to everyone?
Any more wisdom?
Thank you for having us, and pleasure to support you and what you're doing here.
Thank you.
Exactly. Good work.
Oh, thank you. Good work, Kim.
Thanks. Good job.
Thank you. Yes. All right. Cool. Thanks for listening to Oh My Omaha, the podcast. We want to thank our guest, Hurrdat Media, all of you for your support, and the Omaha community at large.
So from D&I, keep on exploring.